Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Pacific Pokemon Podcast, where we talk about Pokemon with a focus on VGC. I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Bambi.
And today we are here to talk about San Antonio, because we didn't last week. And then predominantly just talk about the remainder of the DLC details that we did not cover last week, and kind of the initial introductions into Regulation F competitive ladder.
Yeah, and neither of us actually have a team for Portland yet, and that's next weekend, so this is fun.
2 weekends. Ish.
Is it 2 weekends? I thought it was next weekend.
No, yeah, it is. I guess next weekend.
Yeah, it's next weekend now.
Technically.
Yeah.
Yep.
So after that, after this week, probably expect a break or some sort of filler episode filmed from a phone or something, maybe from the regional.
Well, we'll have one more early next week. But yeah, Portland. Portland. I don't feel quite ready for it, but I have some ideas at least of things that I'm comfortable with.
Isn't early meta your best suit though? You got
early
this.
Game meta is my best, like early
Think of
generation.
this as a new game. think of this as a new game, except for it has double genies still.
Yeah, it has double genies, and I mean it has, Latios and Latias coming back. And ponies.
Ooh, I could see you using some Latios.
Latias I could potentially end up pulling out.
You
I
like
do have a
your dragon
shiny
type.
Latios from
Latios is
Sword
actually low-key better.
It kind of depends on what you use them for, because Latios is more offensive.
That's
and
true.
Latias is just more defensive. So
It's true, but I think being on offensive play is probably more winning.
more than likely, yeah. It usually is. But before we get too hard into Regulation F stuff, let's start off on Regulation E's final tournament, San Antonio Regional. And actually go over a little bit of who won. And what did good. Congratulations to Giovanni Costa for winning San Antonio Regionals. I believe this is his first regional victory. He's performed fairly well in a large number of tournaments, but I don't think he's won one previously. So huge shout out and congratulations there. Taking home $6,000 and 200 CP with a guaranteed 2024 Worlds invite. And then in second place, we've got Ragav Malavia coming in very close to that first again. He performed very well at San Antonio, featuring the Landorus Incarnate, which is pretty cool. Definitely something that's showing up again in the meta otherwise as well. Justin Burns coming in third place, and Joe Ugarte coming in fourth. Those are going to be the teams we're going over today.
Honorable mention to Fire Ogrepon, who was in half of the top cut. More than half.
More than half, yeah. 5 of 8 in top cut.
But didn't win at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
What an Ogrepon usage, though.
Instead, the 3 people with good Ogrepon counters won.
Yeah. Looking at this, though, first and second also had Wellspring Ogrepon, so 7 of 8 top teams.
Yep, congratulations, Wellspring Ogrepon. You are the best Ogrepon of Regulation E.
So many Ogrepons. That's impressive.
Go back to my Twitter. You can even see the tweet. I said that was the best one, day one.
I mean, it made perfect sense. The water grass type is.
I would really don the water mask for a reason, and that's because guess who's bringing Blood Moon to the MSS this weekend? Me.
Nice. More Blood Moon Ursaluna. That thing is
Mm-hmm.
definitely a
Or not
terrifying
this weekend.
beast.
What day is it on? Oh no, that is this weekend. That is this Saturday. This Saturday
Yeah,
is
the
my MSF.
30th.
Um, but yeah, the giraffe one.
Yeah. Congratulations to the giraffe. Making it back to the top. Fire Terra, this time now as well. A surprisingly interesting terastallization choice, I feel like.
For the same reason Cresselia does. It's because you're more than likely going to be taking like a fire type move paired with that fairy type move from Fluttermane.
That's true. Yeah, the Heat Wave
So you
Dazzling
want to
Gleam.
resist all.
That's fair. It's an intentional
Or the
Flutterfish
Moonblast ID
counter.
cudgel.
Oh yeah, true. Fire Pawn as well. Yeah, that's a good
Mm-hmm.
point. Very good call there, all in all. And it resists the Make It Rains from the Goldengo as well. The big spread
Yep.
damage there.
Fire is Loki a really good defensive type.
It is. Very good defensive terror type. And very good defensive type in general.
Mm-hmm. I run the same Iron Hands. Uh, Giovanni Costa
AV
is
Terrifier,
the
yep.
yeah. This Iron Hands is the same one that was brought to Sacramento
Yep.
by Amelia Forbes.
I think Emilio Forbes had the Volt Switch instead of the Wild Charge, if
Oh,
I
this one
remember
has
right.
Wild Charge. It does have the Volt Switch. My bad. Excuse me.
But
Um,
otherwise, yeah, it's
this is
exactly the same by the looks of it.
yeah. This is the Iron Hands that everybody says I should run. Like like if you go to the YouTube video Nino made using my rental code
Oh
for
yeah, on the Blood Moon
for
Ursaluna team.
yeah for my version of Dwobble Blood Moon or a Luna team. Yeah, he was using it in chat was just blowing up about no wild charge on Iron Hands. So I guess this is here you go, chat. This is for you.
Yep. Wild Charge, Iron Hands.
This is the
With
one.
AV, Fake Out Wild Charge, Drain Punch, and Heavy Slam being the moveset there.
Hmm.
Interesting choices on this Choice Specs Goldengo. With the Psyshock, Make It Rain, Shadow Ball, Focus Blast, and
I think it probably could.
Psyshock.
I think you could probably OHKO Iron Hands that way
Probably. The Focus
if it's
Blast as
AB.
well is what really surprises me. It's just kind of like two interesting niche moves tossed in there. Usually you'd see something like the Thunderbolt or a Trick, even, to trick those choice specs onto an Amoonguss.
I think it's good for Heatran.
Yeah, good for Heatran, good for Urshifu, good for Dark Urshifu specifically.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah,
So
Heatran
speaking
is
of which,
probably the
Dark
main.
Urshifu has a win now.
That's true,
This is the
since there
first
is
one
a
for
Dark
Dark
Urshifu
Urshifu.
on this team, featuring the Focus Sash, Dark Terra, Wicked Blow,
I,
Close Combat, Sucker Punch, and Effect.
I don't think that this Urshifu is going away anytime soon. I think this will start to see usage, especially in this next regulation for sure.
I definitely agree. I think Dark Urshifu actually is building more in stocks now that Psyspam has a little bit more utility and value
Actually
to
has
it.
actually has more than one person using it.
Yeah, it has options available, so
Or
Urshifu
one
has good
Pokemon, excuse
coverage.
me. Yeah. Um,
And then we already went over the
yeah.
for a giraffe mostly, but it's featuring a Life Orb. Going for the damage here with the Psyshock Hyper Voice, Trick Room Protect, and that Terrifier.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting instead of going for like Psychic Dazzle.
Yeah, probably the Life Orb Psyshock also doing the same
Probably
thing,
does
is
more damage
probably
that
getting a
way.
two-hit KO on the Iron
For
Hands.
sure does way more damage
It also has a
than
chance
being
to
stabbed.
KO Fluttermane.
Oh, that too.
An investment
And
Fluttermane
and two
goes
hit
down.
KOs AV hands.
Yeah, more than likely.
Um
Standard Wellspring Ogerpon and standard booster Icy Wind Fluttermane, so probably booster speed.
yeah, and speaking of Ogerpon, that's Regalis running the same thing.
Indeed, indeed. The Wellspring Ogrepon with the Follow Me, Ivy Cudgel, Horn Leech, and Spiky Shield.
Mm-hmm.
Consistent. Water Grass is just really good defensive typing as well. They both cover each other's weaknesses so well.
Arcanine Hisui almost had its next championship.
I know. He came one short of winning every Regulation E
Yeah,
tournament.
Michael Jordan dropped one championship in Pokemon.
That's incredible, though. What
Yeah,
a
it's pretty
run
great.
from Hisuian Arcanine. And he came in second in the one that he dropped.
Yep.
Always top cut. 100%.
It's just too good. Imagine how Ensign's gonna be.
Oh, man.
Imagine when our best Intimidator gets outclassed.
For sure. For
Hmm.
sure. It will be absolutely insane.
It will be. The tech is insane. Um, it's got the extreme speed, the Will-O-Wisp, and a Citrus Berry. I really
Will-O-Wisp.
like that it
Okay.
has a Will-O-Wisp. It's one of the only things. It's like this can actually go Dozo matchup really well.
Yeah. Because fun fact, for something that most people tend to not consider with burns, it does not have the Pokemon's attack stat. It has the move damage power. So when you're
Is that how it
burned,
works?
the calculation halves the damage of physical
Showdown
moves.
just shows it weird then.
The in-game calculation is really weird. But yeah, it what that does though as well is it also decreases the damage
It
of moves
makes
like Body
it makes
Press.
your Terra Blast, yeah, it makes your Terra Blast into 40 and
Because Body Press is still a physical move. Even moves like
hmm
Body Press are affected by burn.
hmm
So, just an interesting tidbit. It doesn't affect your
I thought it was,
attack
I don't think it
number,
was,
it's the damage of physical
yeah,
attacks.
that's true. Yeah, it halves the physical attack damage.
It's very weird.
I knew it did that, but I just didn't, I guess I never put it that way. Terra Dragonoid King Gambit's pretty cool.
Indeed, yeah. It's a very standard King Gambit otherwise. Black glasses and sword stance, double dark moves, protect.
Um, but let's talk about the King, Landorus-I.
I actually very much
This
agree,
team
yes.
sparked a revolution for Landorus-I. Like it got banned in like Smogon for a reason immediately, and people are just catching on to these two, like Dark Urshifu and Landorus-I. People are just now at the like half a year into using them since Pokemon Home came out like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Um, like it took people 6 months to finally be like, oh, we cracked the code on the banned things.
Yep. Life Orb Landorus Incarnate with Sheer Force, Terra Poison, Sand Seer, Storm, Sludge Bomb, Earth Power, and Protect. It has spread
Hmm.
damage in spread special dark moves that do good damage. It has Sludge Bomb to hit fairy types like Fluttermane, and I
And
think that
grass
can two-hit
types.
KO every fairy type out there pretty much.
Don't forget about Ogerpon too.
And then yeah, also the Ogrepons and the Rillabooms and everything that loves to
Yep.
Terra Grass.
Yeah, there's just too much damage coming your way that's stabbed.
And then Earth Power. Plus you put the Clefairy next to it, and that thing can take some hits.
Yep, it's true.
Plus that Clefairy next to a Terra Dragon King Gambit, I feel like is a great combination as well. Redirecting the moves that would normally hit the dragon type for super effective
I'm
that
wondering if
barely hurt
Follow
Clef.
Me is like if it's like if it's its own thing at this point because there's two redirection users on this team. There's two Follow Me's going on this team. So this Landorus is like like the final boss. Like you will have to face off against it because it's gonna go Follow Me Pokemon for partner twice in a row.
Yeah. I think that's where Ogrepon is such a good Pokemon, though, because it's
And
follow
Landorus
me,
doesn't
but
need to set up.
also,
It just has the package deal.
yeah, because of sheer force and how that increases the damage of the moves, plus it
Mhm.
also increases with Life Orb.
Yeah, the tempo of the game really leans itself well to Landorus Incarnate right now.
It really does. At least in that balance mentality, you know.
Hmm.
Terra Poison Landorus Incarnate just does so much damage. And next to a Terra Grass Clefairy, I mean, you can literally wall Urshifu.
Yep.
Rapid
And
Strike.
Rillaboom almost came in first,
Yeah,
but what it apparently was able to do better against was, I'm just kind of shocked. I don't know if they played each other, but Heatran and Regav, I don't know if they played each other, but it looks like Heatran would have a really good matchup, you'd think on paper, but it
yeah.
just
Justin Burns team.
Justin Burns' team is really scary. It's really offensive.
And it looks like they did go up against each other from the bracket. Regov versus Justin, and Regov won it 2-0.
Oh wow.
I th-
Landers Incarnate just went so hard.
yep, more than likely. We've got Amoonguss, though, Heatran, Landorus Therian with this choice scarf, the pretty standard set there. Sash
Yep.
Chanpao, AV Iron Hands, this one featuring the Volt Switch instead of the Heavy Slam and Terra Water. And then the Specs Fluttermane on Justin Burns'
With
team.
Thunderbolt.
Yep, with the Thunderbolt
So
and Double Fairy move.
yep.
I feel like a lot of this team is very kind of standard distilled Regulation E, honestly.
I think that might be one of the reasons why it might have had a falling, is because it might have been too predictable for its competitors.
That is a bit of an issue in
Like,
BGC.
not to say that it's contrived, but I mean this, like, some of these choices might be stale.
Yeah. And it's not that they're necessarily a stale choice. It's that when you put very consistent Pokemon together into a very consistent team, it's really easy to know your lines into it,
Mm, that's
which
true.
means your opponents are going to have a better chance of knowing how to beat your team. Whereas if they're bringing something, like a Landorus Incarnate that doesn't see as much usage, then that
But hey,
Pokemon is able to say, "Hey,
he only dropped he only dropped 2 games in Top Cut, which is crazy.
yeah." Obviously, I mean, very well played, incredible player, and very well piloted, balanced team with the Specs Flutter, the Landorus Therian, Amoonguss being just a huge supporter on that team. I think this was also
Hmm.
one of the only teams to feature Amoonguss in the top cut. 3 of the top teams featuring the
Hmm.
Mushroom. Third and fourth place, coincidentally, as well. Joe UX9 bringing the Amoonguss
Yeah,
self.
he's definitely shaping up for a triple time in a row regional win after this. Like, I think he's gonna, if his Venusaur gets the sleep powders off, it's it's Jover.
Jover. Oh no. Happened. No, but Amoonguss with the Citrus Berry and Regenerator, just so much recovery. Pollen Puff, Rage Powder, Spore, Grass Knot. Grass Knot is a bit of an interesting pick here. I've seen that picking up a lot in usage lately.
Yep. It hits a lot of things pretty well because it's like a grass type special heavy slam.
Yeah, and it does good damage into Urshifu even. Grass
Yep.
Knot does solid damage. Plus, it has no detriments, which is a nice thing. Whereas
You can
Leaf Storm
spam
is
it,
the
which
other
is
main
really nice.
move.
Hmm.
But yeah, otherwise, Urshifu Rapid Strike. This one featuring the Terra Poison. The Scarf, but with Terra Poison instead of the Terra Water. So going a little bit more on the defensive side.
Hmm.
The exact same Dragon Terra, King Gambit. Oh wait, no, this one has Iron Head instead of Sword Stance. But otherwise, it's
Yep.
relying on the Defiant boosts to then boost the damage output and just
There's Ice Spinner on the Champ House, so there's definitely consideration for size spam here.
I feel like it,
and
yeah.
just terrain in general.
Yep. I mean, his team not having any terrain definitely leaves it be more beneficial to have the ice spinner, usually, with the Gen Pow.
Yeah, it's nice if anybody's trying to do any like Tapu BS to counter
Rillaboom
like
DP. Yep.
misty terrain or something like that too.
Thankfully, the Tapus aren't back. Tapus and REG F, so
I am so happy we don't have Tapu's back.
I'm
Uh,
I'm honestly a little sad, but
One thing I wanted to bring up really quick was that there's a Thunder Punch on Dragonite.
oh yeah, and the Assault Vest too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Terra
Yeah,
normal
Assault Vest
Dragonite,
and
but
Interfect is
Aerial
doing
Ace.
just a little bit less damage.
But next to the Chen Pao, he still hits very hard with the Assault
It's
Vest and the
hard,
Extreme Speed Terra normal.
but it seems like Chiampao's definitely carrying the weight between the two of them.
Oh, definitely. But at that point, what Dragonite's doing is having the ability to actually take that Dazzling Gleam from her Flutter Mane and continue to hit it in response, you know?
Yep,
And then the Thunder Punch to take a single hit from that Urshifu and then retaliate with that big Oko.
exactly.
Also, it works very well into the Ogerpon water when they terastalize.
No, that's true.
So, otherwise, a standard Hearth Flame Ogerpon featuring the Power Whip, though, going on the gamble, the 85% accuracy. I wonder if that
And no
accuracy might have been
special
part of the
crit.
problem for him.
Maybe it might have been at some points. Joe did drop 3 games at 4th place.
Yeah. So,
So we don't know exactly all the details for every turn by turn, but
yeah, of course.
we're
Obviously,
only inferring.
exactly. Obviously, it did what accuracy does, though. You know? But neither here nor there. Congratulations to all 4 of those players making it into the top 4. That's going to be about it for our coverage, I think, on San Antonio. Reg E is done. So I'm very pleased to just be
Thank you,
done
Reggie.
with Reg E.
We're done being angry and we're done calling. We're not calling you rage. So be happy, Reggie.
Yeah. It's time to maybe put down that torn Urshifu
It's
and
maybe
consider
it's
some of the
time
other
to put
things.
down. Yeah, maybe it's time to consider something that maybe it's time to consider like Wholesome Bear instead of Blood Moon Bear. That's what I'm thinking.
Maybe that. Yep. Time to put down the torn Urshifu. Maybe time to get, the Raging Bolt pulled out now. Something along that line.
Raging Bolt's pretty good. Don't
Raging.
forget Smeargle's a thing. Close the team sheet later. Oh my gosh, stay off there for practice because you will run into Smeargles that you would never see in open.
Yeah, Burning Bulwark is also a really good move on Smeargle.
I'm still trying to decide my Smeargle moves, but I think I'm gonna go with Follow Me, Burning Bulwark. Um, what's the new Stomping Tantrum? The Fire One
Oh,
Temper
Temper
Flare.
Flare. Yep.
Yeah, Temper Flare, and
And then Spore, or are you going to go with something else for support?
Lunar Blessing.
Lunar Blessing. Hmm. All right. It's a good move choice. Definitely.
Another thing I wanted to remind people of is that there's more than one Mortal Spin user now.
Yeah. Smeargle also can Mortal Spin now.
Yep.
Are there any other Mortal Spin users? That is not a move that I've actually
Nope.
yet. I don't think there are.
His signature move, except for guess who gets to learn all the signature moves except for 2? Smeargle.
Yep, except for literally Dark Void and um Revival Blessing.
Oh, I figured out what the last move would be.
Oh, what?
The last move would be E-Speed.
Okay, I get that. I'd probably
E-Speed,
just
Follow
run
Me,
the E
Burning
speed and
Bulwark.
ditch the Temper Flare for Spore personally, just for the utility. but that's me. The
I want
Smeargle
everything
doesn't
to be burned
have.
by it because it's shiny and looks like it's like a fire type.
I mean, Temper Flare doesn't have a chance to burn. It's just
Oh,
Fire Stomping Tantrum.
then maybe I don't. Maybe I go Sacred Fire.
That's the one you were thinking of. Yep. Sacred Fire is the guaranteed burn. That's the move you were thinking of. Entei's unique move.
Yeah, so we'll go Sacred Fire, Burning Bulwark, Follow Me, E-Speed.
Jeez. Burn all the
Burn
burns.
everything.
Burn, baby, burn. Smeargle Inferno.
That's a good one. I like that.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's what I should name my Smeargle, Burn Baby.
Perfect. Flawless. I love it. Yeah, so Smeargle is a thing now. Definitely a viable Pokemon in all sorts
Don't
of
forget your
things.
spread moves.
Yeah. And there's a lot more wide guard users now available. Like, at least of good wide guard users. We kind of got the best one back, and that's Araquanid, or one of the best ones.
Yeah.
We also got Hitmontop back, who also gets access to wide guard. So Fake Out, Intimidate, wide guard,
Mm-hmm.
which is Hitmontop.
That's
So Hitmontop is a similar thing to Incineroar with different typing and just a very different kind of support set. That's definitely something to consider, especially as you're replacing your Iron Hands, which is really unfortunate because like that thing still is really good.
Mm-hmm.
We're all replacing our Iron Hands for Incineroar or something else because there's more versatility available. But yeah, Hitmontop, Electabuzz and Magmar both get access to Follow Me now, and Magmar has already had good tournament performances with that.
Mm-hmm.
So you could see Magmortar and Electivire with that as well. So Electivire with Motor Drive and Follow Me could arguably just redirect Thunderclaps and get speed boosts
Oh,
and do more damage.
I like that a lot. Remember, Motor Drive is one of those god tier abilities.
It's one of those very unique, good, really good abilities. Like Electivire has a
Mm-hmm.
123 base attack, so it has solid damage output already. It's just got kind of meh speed.
Yeah, it got bit by Gen 4 speed.
Yeah, by the generation where Garchomp was built to be, the
The fast.
greatest thing in existence.
Yep.
102.
Oh gosh,
Nothing else
Cynthia
in
was
that
so
generation
difficult.
was like that.
Not except for Spiritomb
Yeah, Spiritomb was
or
just
Fairy types.
super tanky.
You want to talk about Cynthia hard mode player without a Fairy type on your team?
Yeah, true. True. I think I brought Togekiss to beating her.
Nice.
Togekiss is so good. But then, you know what? I
Togekiss
also beat
is
Cynthia with a team of Bidoofs.
oh, that's cool.
Team of
The
6
HM slaves.
Bidoofs. That was
That's
rough.
pretty good.
That was fun.
I would never put myself through that.
Bidoof only run Shining Pearl. Yeah. But that's past details. We're talking about the now.
Metagross gets psychic things. It gets accurate psychic move, stab that breaks screens, and it's stronger than the one that gets a flinch and can miss. So psychic things is huge for the Metagross.
Yeah. And Metagross also gets access to the new move Hard Press, which gives it an alternative higher damage steel move. So you could literally run like Hard Press, Psychic Fangs, Bullet Punch, and
Speaking of hard
once
press,
they're lower
guess who gets
HP,
it?
Bullet Punch.
Ursaluna.
And yeah, Ursaluna also gets the Hard Press. Really good.
Yep.
It got access to Heavy Slam before as well. Same as Metagross. But Heavy Slam isn't always that great. It's great against Flutter Mane. Sure, always. But let's say Terra Fairy Hisuian Arcanine, Terra Fairy Tyranitar, Terra Fairy Excadrill. A lot of these Pokemon are a little bit heavier, and Heavy Slam doesn't always do too much to them.
Mm-hmm.
Hard press always
Exactly.
will.
Yep.
Really solid move there. Pleased to get that. This is one that I'm really excited about, and I've already looked into a little bit more as to why. Sceptile gets Shed Tail. The reason this is actually
This is
important,
better than Cyclizar.
noticeably, and there's one huge reason for that. Like, Cyclizar is better in singles 100% of the time because it has Regenerator. So it actually has the better ability to run with Shed Tail, theoretically. But its speed is too slow to beat Fluttermane. So in doubles,
Sceptile
it
doesn't have that problem.
sucks. Sceptile is technically slower than Cyclizar, but gets Unburden as its hidden ability, which makes it
Yeah.
way faster than everything else. And I'm not certain on this, and I'm gonna look this up real quick. I'm curious whether Sceptile is able to outspeed Regieleki. Max speed Sceptile versus
What's its
max
speed
speed
again?
Regieleki times 2.
120 something, right?
It's 120 base. You go max speed, you're
Yeah,
looking at
120.
189 times 2.
Yeah, that's faster than Regieleki.
Yeah. So Sceptile has the ability to also outspeed Regieleki, which that's not a common thing. It's the thing. It exists, at least.
Drayton was onto something, everyone.
Yeah. Unburden, like Psychic Seed or Grassy Seed, Sceptile with uh oh my gosh. Dragon Terra Sceptile holding a weakness policy next to a Comfy. +3 speed priority into a Dragon Terra weakness policy unburdened damage.
Oh man, that's so good. So, I want somebody to make Sceptile good. Please do that. It was my Gen 3 starter was Trico, and so I
Heck yeah.
really, 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 really want Sceptile to have some glory at some
Yeah.
point. And I think if any time is gonna be, then I hope it's now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's actually really phenomenal, though, to be able to do that. Shed Tail faster than Fluttermane and Regieleki,
And
providing
not be held back by being
because
solo grass type, by being able to Terra. Same with Superior.
yeah. Superior, I feel like almost wants to Terra Grass, though, still.
The reason why you want to be Terraing on your Superior a lot more often than not is because it suffers from one type move syndrome.
Yeah. It only has grass moves and like really
Basically,
weak bug moves, I think.
and Dragon Pulse.
Oh yeah, that's right. It gets Dragon Pulse because it's a pseudo dragon thing somehow.
It's a snake,
I know. It, it's the
but
same
doesn't
kind of
have
pseudo
tails.
dragon, the same way that Milotic is. You know, I feel
And
like
Sceptile.
yeah,
But Sceptile's an actual lizard,
true. Plus, Mega Sceptile is a dragon.
which is also true. Huh. I missed that one.
Also, I believe Sceptile gets access to Dragon Cheer.
Yep.
So
Dragon
Unburdened
Booster.
Dragon Cheer. That's the thing.
Mhm.
Unburdened Dragon Cheer.
Why need Prankster when you can just be faster than everything?
Exactly. And there is no Prankster Dragon Cheer. I already
Yep,
checked.
there's no Prankster. So this is probably our fastest one.
It is.
Yeah, for sure,
I
our
think the
fastest Dragon
next
Cheer.
fastest is Roaring Moon Booster. Speed Booster Moon,
Okay.
followed by Dragapult. Because it's
Maybe
basically
we could
just
see a
dragon
Dragon
types.
Cheer Smeargle, but that's a pipe dream.
Yeah. That's too niche, but Smeargle can do everything, so if all you need is something that can do everything, there you go.
I just thought it was something amazing. Dragon Cheer, follow me. Smeargle, next to follow me, Sword Stance, Water Ochre Pond.
Gosh.
What? It's a nightmare for targeting for like which slot you go into. because it's like,
Yeah,
which one do you get follow me by? Like, and then you go into you get the crit boost onto
Ivy
the
Cudgel, which already has a +1 crit inherently on the move. Yikes.
because some people will just go into whatever one they think is going to follow me on their turn order instead of going for like what they would normally do if follow me wasn't there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Which is kind of one of those
imagine
like
imagine
rookie
being able to play
mistakes.
that card in somebody's mind game.
That's where I feel like the double follow me tech is actually really good. You know, running the super
Yeah.
defensive follow me with either like Magmar, Electabuzz, or Indeedee.
Oh, you single targeted twice into this Pokemon. Now it's this Pokemon's turn to take it, so this other Pokemon can do the thing.
Right? Exactly. And I think Ogerpon is a fantastic solution to that because it has so much offensive pressure while still being able to have defensive utility with that Water Terra and the +1 special defense
Yeah.
and the
Do you get
Water
Spored
Absorb
or
follow me.
do you get Spored or do you get Crit? Pick your poison.
Exactly.
Either
It's a
way, you're getting
strong
follow
combo.
me.
So we'll see how Sceptile does. I hope it does well. At least I think it has definitely some niche options.
If history repeats itself, it'll be terrible.
I mean, possibly, but we'll see how it goes, right? There's just a lot of good grass types in this metagame already. That makes it definitely, struggle with a bit of that type competition, you know.
Hmm. I think it needs a second typing to really shine.
Yeah. If it was already, no, Grass Dragon wouldn't be that great anyway.
Mm-mm. That's why Dragon type was what held Sceptile back. Was everything had hidden power and it died to it.
Always hidden power. Ice was the most common hidden power too.
Yep,
Yeah.
for Landorus.
Yeah.
This was pre-Incineroar days, so the good times.
Yep.
Speaking of the good times, they're over.
They are. Incineroar is back. It got access to knockoff again as well. So it's got the parting shot, it's got the knockoff, it's got fake out, it's got flare blitz. It has all of the tools it wants. All of the tools it could ever need.
This is like the Smash Ultimate version of Incineroar.
Yeah, definitely. This Pokemon is going to dominate every metagame from here on out. You absolutely have to know your calcs into it, and you absolutely have to know how to.
When in doubt, Final Gambit out.
That is always an option. I don't think there's going to be any Incins running Ghost Terra, really, at all. Are you running
I
Ghost
am.
Terra? Oh my gosh.
I have been, dude. Okay, so here's my theory. There's a reason GU does it,
Yeah,
and it's just because Ghost synergizes really well with Dark type,
it does.
and weirdly enough, doesn't pair bad with Fire.
True. Yeah, I feel like Incin needs the Grass Terra to be able to resist Surging Strikes properly, or Fairy Terra to be able to survive the Flutter Mane correctly. But you might be able to do well enough with the Ghost Terra, and I just might be sleeping on it.
The reason why is I like a slow one that can like be a trick room option.
Yeah,
So if I want my fake out to happen, I just fake out Ghost Terra.
fair enough. Expect to be the slowest fake out on the field if there's another fake out. Yeah.
Hmm.
Except maybe
And you can
against
usually
some Iron
you,
Hands, but
you
it's
can
lower
dump
base, but
like I think I dump about 60 maybe sometimes into my Incineroars so that way they're good against those faster Iron Hands.
that's fair. Sometimes there's enough to play around with. It depends on what kind of a
Terra
build you
goes
go for.
just in case.
Yeah,
Because if I really need a parting shot, I'm gonna do it.
for sure. And that move is so good. Um, Pro tip with Parting Shot for all you players out there. Actually, two pro tips on that move. For those of you who have not used Parting Shot into Magic Bounce, the ability of Hatterene, and I mean that's the only notable Pokemon with it nowadays, but the ability Magic Bounce, it reflects the stat drop back onto yourself and then it switches the opposing Pokemon, aka the Magic Bouncer, out. So this was
Yep.
a strategy in Dynamax to beat Dynamax Hat. You could just force
Yep.
switch it.
Yeah.
But it's a
That
good way to
seems
beat.
so broken. Why was that able to be a thing when Gigantamax was OP against everything else?
I have no idea in that concept why it fit in the Dynamax era,
It's
but
an absolute oversight from Game Freak.
truly. But it is a good way to beat Indeedee Hatterene Trick Room. If you've got Incineroar on your team, it does have that opportunity to force a Hatterene out of the field to give you a better chance to reposition. So that's a play you can try to go for. Parting Shot also does not switch you out if it goes into a clear amulet holding target, or if it goes into something like a Metagross with clear body.
So clear amulet does.
If the stat drops do not happen, the switch
The
does
parting
not
shot.
happen.
The parting of the shot doesn't happen.
Yep. So you have to get the stat drop to get the switch. Just one of those few details that gets oversight a lot, and figured I'd share what I got for y'all.
Yeah. Thank you. I learned something today.
Hopefully everybody can get better for port.
That's true. We're gonna need to know these details because they're game changing.
Yeah, and Ensign is the biggest parting shot
game
user.
changing.
So
BBQs are so cool.
yeah, I actually really enjoy them. I've had some friends be like, "Ah, the grind is terrible."
Using the synchro together and being Latios and Latios flying around together.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I'd never even considered that, but that sounds like so much fun.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a cool idea.
Don't be afraid to use the item thing. The time for what you get back is so worth it. Even if you have to stare at a screen and press A bunch.
Yeah.
XA. You know.
The item printer is really good. Make sure you boost it up as fast as you can as you're using it, unless you are specifically trying to farm, like the I think it's the sweets for the various alchemy.
For all the alchemy, but honestly, you'll get tons of them along the way.
You will. And I personally would rather waste a little bit more time hunting sweets in exchange for more sport balls, more friend balls, more lure balls, more master balls, etc. You know,
exactly.
I had a roll of 4 rainbow Pokeballs in one Pokeball lotto.
That's
yesterday,
crazy.
and I was like, oh my gosh. Beautiful. So.
You want to talk about Snacksworth?
Yes. Snacksworth, at least in terms of, have you
talked to the guy?
You've talked to him at least?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, so he's hanging out right outside
I just got done doing what we're going to talk about next, which is Parent's Quest.
Gotcha. Okay. Nice. But yeah, Snacksworth is hanging out right outside the Blueberry Academy main entrance, just chilling there, waiting for you. He is basically like the head of BBQs, more or less. So to unlock your access to all of the various mythical and legendary Pokemon from previous generations that he gives you access to, you need to go do a bunch of BBQs, both solo and in group. There are certain Pokemon that are exclusive to group BBQ completion, and there are certain Pokemon that are exclusive to solo BBQ completion.
That's really cool. I like that a lot. Does only one person get it in the group for the legendary still? Or does everybody get an opportunity for the legendary?
I think Snacksworth, like in group, when you do the group quests, I think it counts for everybody towards their own individual Snacksworth things.
Wait, so are these Pokemon not flying around in the overworld and they're just rewards?
They are overworld spawns, but I believe they are individually locked overworld spawns. Similarly to how Terradens are. Like in Union Circle, I cannot see my own Terradens.
do that. So that's really sad.
Yeah. So they're basically locked to your specific file, as far as I know.
I
Nobody
really
can
wish
catch them other than you
Snacksworth
in
had
your
given us
file.
the goods.
But
Snacksworth didn't deliver on the goods as much as he could have.
not really, but he did deliver another opportunity for Cubfu and Urshifu, which that on the baseline
You
I am
only
very
have to buy
pleased about.
one game now. That's true.
Yeah. So I'm very pleased about that, at least at the baseline. You know, it gave another opportunity to get the Cubfu and Urshifu, which for those people who've
Yeah.
been complaining a lot about Urshifu, here you go, guys. If you've been doing
Yep.
competitive, I would assume you probably have the DLC. And if not, stop wasting your time genning Pokemon and just spend $30 on the DLC. $30 is really not that much. Come on.
And you don't get caught.
You can't get banned at an event if you do it right. It's a 100% chance that you will not be banned. Why take that chance when you spend twice as much as the DLC cost just to get the entry ticket?
Yep.
Catch your Pokemon.
Or don't use Urshifu.
Or don't use Urshifu, don't use any of the
Play it all.
game
Get
exclusive
'em all.
legends.
Catch 'em all. And don't use Urshifu still.
Yeah. And I mean, like, that's another thing with Raging Bolt and Gouging Fire as well. They have a very particular preset IV stat distribution, similarly to the Ogerpon. And so if these Pokemon are found with different stats, well, there you go. Very easy. You know, so all you guys out there, hunt your Pokemon.
Yep.
It's just worth it.
Speaking of hunting Pokemon, Parents Quest was way too easy.
Yeah, it was very simple. I mean,
especially when the game gives you 2 Master Balls right before you do it, which is exactly what I did.
Nice, you just Master Balled both of them.
I figured I'd get more.
There he is.
But yeah, we're gonna be in this DLC for about another year, and so I figure I'm gonna be gambling a lot of doing a lot of BP farming, barbecues for a while. So might as well use them now.
Yep. Yeah. Drop all the points into your item machine. I mean, get all of your starters unlocked as well. Realistically, you don't necessarily need to unlock all of them. Just unlock the canyon biome, where Incineroar is.
Oh, one thing I will say before you leave Area 0, spoiler alert. Before you leave, it's been a week. Get over it.
It's been over a week. Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, I thought don't forget to go to the bottom of Area 0 and go to the secret room that you can only get to once you have the flying. You're already there. Just get it done.
Yep. Go do your Terrapagos quest while you're down there. Finish that up.
I'm really happy they didn't show up in the terrarium and that I was back to Area 0 for the parent quest.
Yeah, it would have felt weird if Paradox Pokemon were in the terrarium.
Yeah, I thought it was really weird too. But one thing that I don't want to go too far off of our notes, but like after seeing the paradoxes, I really think that we're gonna get like a Let's Go Johto and a remake of Unova.
I'm fine with that, honestly.
I would be fine with Unova being our next main series game.
I'm very okay with that. It needs a rehashing. I didn't dislike Unova Generation. There were a couple of Pokemon that I definitely hate on. Don't get me wrong.
Then they need to bring back Mega Evolution.
No. I don't think they will. Yeah, Pursuit would be wild. We were so set on that coming back.
But it was a fluke. It got programmed, but program doesn't know.
Yep. That's okay. I'm okay with it not being in there.
Yeah, I'm okay with it not being in there.
To finish up kind of the remaining details on I think Snacksworth and Perrin. There's a couple of legendaries that are not locked whatsoever to group or solo, so doing either gets them. Cubfu is one of those. So they did make it very easy to get the highest demand legendaries. So keep that in mind there with Snacksworth. You do have to go through and do like, I think it's 10 or 12 group quests to get all of the legendaries unlocked and all of the snacks. So it's quite a bit, but it's not really too bad for the BBQs. Perrin also has a extra fun little tidbit of dialogue if you bring her Growlithe with you into battle when you battle her in the terrarium. So if you have not already started that with Perrin, if you haven't interacted with, bring the Growlithe along with you. She'll say some extra fun stuff. Kieran also has unique dialogue if you bring Ogerpon into the battles against him.
Good.
He calls it out, and he gets all angsty, and it's really hilarious. So
I am so happy we get to make that little boy angry.
Me too. Those are some of the fun little tidbits there.
Yeah.
But I think that's pretty much all of it. Quite a few Pokemon got some good buffs.
Yeah, tune in next week. I think we'll look into Reg F probably more next week, if that's okay with you.
Next week, I think, is a great time to really dive into what Regulation F has settled into. Because people have been trying a lot of different things. You know, they've been trying the Raging Bolt, the Gouging Fire, the Iron Crown, Iron Boulder. I'm really trying to make an Electric Terrain Iron Boulder team work with Thundurus setting Electric Terrain, and it's struggling. So, you know, I'm sorry, Boulder. You got good stats, but lack of Rock Slide makes you suck.
It's so true.
Outside of that, though, like Sun Raging Bolt is really strong. Indeedee Hatterene with returning Expanding Force is very strong.
Love it. I will also say that Iron Crown is actually pretty good.
Yeah, Iron Crown Expanding Force.
It says no, I go first to everything that doesn't have a booster energy.
Pretty much,
besides it.
Yep. Are you just running max speed, max special attack, modest, or timid?
Oh, you can't run max special attack if you want to be booster speed.
Oh, fair. Yeah. But close to max, I guess. As close to as you can. The same thing that Roaring Moon does.
Oh, it is max speed. I'll say that. But yeah. I won't say anything else about my spread.
Fair. The right way to do it.
For now. Not till after Portland, just in case I use it.
That's fair. Yeah, Iron Crown is definitely the better.
I don't know if I'm going to have time to get coaching in time, so I might be on my own for this one.
That's okay. That just means it's time to hit the ladder as hard as you can.
That's so true. I got time. It's winter break.
Yep. Take that time to practice. Yeah, bye, speaking of ladder.
Time for Bye, guys. Time for ladder.
Well, that's going to be it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Buttons are down there. Discord link is in the description. We love you guys. Have a great holiday.
Bye-bye.
And we'll catch you guys next week.